Welcome to the Breathwork Summit, a free online event where you'll learn from top experts about integrating the power of your breath to transform your health and well-being. Share this powerful program with your friends and family, and come join us on Facebook at The Shift Network. And now your host, Jim Morningstar.
Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, co-host of the Breathwork Summit. I have the distinct pleasure of speaking with two amazing teachers who will share the mystery and miracles hidden within the breath and the techniques they use to transform lives in their global missions. The theme of this interview is breathing for ascension and connecting with your soul's purpose. Christabel Zamor, founder of the Breath of Bliss Academy, centered in Bali, a somatic mystery school training facilitators how to share angelic breath ceremonies as a path of self-illumination. Welcome, Christabel.
Aloha, Jim. It's such an honor to be here with you.
Something that intrigued me when I was looking at what you offered was your work with Ascension. Could you share a little bit about what is Ascension and how does it relate to breath work?
Happy to share. My experience is that breath work naturally allows an elevation of consciousness. And this circular, open mouth, connected breath, when we do it for a sustained amount of time, and we access that pineal and pituitary gland for the release of dimethyltryptamine, thereby opening these expanded states and these feelings of oneness. When we do the breath work in this way, with that intention, we can elevate our consciousness to gain this incredible level of perspective on our lives and really see from the eyes of our soul the entire storyline that has been playing out. And quite simply, this is ascension. Ascension is the elevation of our perspective and a greater attunement to our higher self, that inner wise part of us that carries the sage wisdom across so many lifetimes. And the ascension process isn't about leaving your body or taking off into outer space. It's so much about being in the body and in your human experience and fully feeling all your emotions, and yet finding a place of attunement to that divine perspective on our lives. And so for me, breathwork and ascension are hand in hand. One facilitates and supports the other.
Being a proponent of we don't have to leave our body to go to heaven, that's very much in alignment with my feeling about not only what ascension is, but how breathwork helps facilitate it. You also use the term soul, and how can breathwork help you communicate with the soul? Well, what is your idea of what soul is?
My journeys and intuition have brought to me that we all have something called an oversoul. And this is an aspect of us that is in perpetual communion with Source, that is simultaneously supporting all of our incarnations in past, parallel, future, and simultaneous lifetimes. And so it's this extraordinarily refined aspect of our true essence, and really kind of facilitating the collective consciousness of all of our incarnations. And so when we do the breath work and we expand and open our consciousness in this way, it softens the mind. I mean, that's really the base of it, because I don't know about you, Jim, but I perpetually get caught up in my mind, the hamster wheel of stories, the distortions and densities from the human collective, what's going on even now in the media, so much fear. It can hijack the mind. And once the breath starts doing its work, on us and relaxing the mind and bringing us into the heart, I feel that the heart really can open as an almost like a stargate to reveal to us that larger perspective on our role as part of everything. And that's why I call this practice breath of bliss, because it's not perpetually seeking some nonstop state of happiness, because that's not sustainable or real. It's about dissolving the resistance and the contractions within ourselves to life and discovering how we can find a part of ourselves in everything that surrounds us. And that's the soul, our soul holds that space of possibility for us.
That's very inspiring. I have been familiarized with the concept of oversoul many years ago, and actually have held on to it in my own belief system. But frankly, I hadn't heard anyone else talk about it, and so it's it's quite inspiring to hear you not only talk about it, but to work with people in that area, so that when we go to that timeless place, we're not confined to this one space in this one lifetime. And any advance that we make and contribute here contributes to all lifetimes in all ways. So I know that you do these offerings in new ways now, other than the old, everyone's got to come to where you are and take the airplane to Bali, even though that's not a bad place to go. But you're spreading the word now through means of modern technology, and can facilitate breath work with 500 people around the world, or do downloadable things. What has brought you to this, and what gifts do you think this gives to the world?
I love this question, Jim. I feel in my heart, I honestly feel that those of us listening to this and watching this, we are ascended masters in training. We are all apprenticing to the highest levels of self-realization, self-mastery, heart opening. And lucky us, in this modern era, we get to take advantage of all of the extraordinary technologies that exist to basically astrally project ourselves, not only onto the other side of the planet, but through space and time, through recorded audios that other people can listen to a year after you made it, or you get quite literally in a whole other geographic location. So I love playing with the heart and its capacity to expand a toroidal field of sensing the collective nervous system of a group by staying in my breath during guided breathwork journeys, which I lead online. I lead online breathwork journeys that have people tuning in through Zoom around the world. And also I do these incredibly psychedelic, multi-dimensional audios. And for me, it's all about how can I, as a facilitator, open up my channel and my capacities as an oracle, simply through my body, through my breath, through my heart, through my intention, to feel the hearts of those who are listening, who are not physically here, but those who are will be in the future listening to this. And it's one of the most exciting opportunities of prayer that I have ever experienced, to be cultivating a living prayer field that is so alive and so sensitive that it is feeling into the invisible realms. And so I'm really inspired by all of this research by the Heart Math Institute, and I'm an ambassador of that institute, and really discovering how we can generate this psychic field of the heart with our breath, with our bodies, with our prayers and our love, so we can create a field of grace and attunement that can literally create more space between the particles of air around us, maybe even create more space between the thoughts of those who are around us, or even who will be listening to the audio in the future. And so, yeah, I'm so passionate about playing with technology and prayer and ceremony.
You know, some people might hear this as you have to be a psychic or have special powers in order to do this, but on the plain physical level, we inhale 1 million particles every time we take a breath, and we exhale 1 million particles. Now, these energized particles have gone through our bloodstream, through our heart, literally on a physical level. And so the energy that we put into 1 million particles with every exhale is going out to the entire world. And I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I understand that my exhale right now, within a week, will be in China, on the other side of the world. So yes, we are on the airwaves, but this is not just a psychic phenomenon. This is an actual physical phenomenon, that we are breathing the same molecules and particles that Jesus or Buddha or other ascended masters have. And they left them here with their imprint on for us to be inspired by and to put our imprint on.
Oof. Yes, I love it. Yes. And it's the same with Mother Gaia. You know, this is why I call breath plant medicine, because as she exhales through the trees, all of this, you know, oxygen, we breathe it in and we take in this. And of course, when we circulate it with enough power to activate those visionary capacities of that CMP release, we can experience those expanded capacities. You don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to be a mystic. You know, you could be the biggest skeptic in the world and an atheist, and still open to such a exquisite sense of communion with everything, and so tears, you know, just crying, gratitude, letting go. And truly, this is the breath for me. It is that merging and that surrender and that complete prayer, a prayer of remembering that we're all divine and we're all good and we're all pure.
Yes, and that is so grounded, as you say, in Gaia, in Mother Earth. I remember I was 11 years old and I climbed a tree and breathed with and hugged the tree. And I said to myself, I will never forget this moment. And I never have. So in my neighborhood, you will see me walking down the street every day, connecting with my two favorite trees, which are like transmitters that I see connect with all of the other trees around the planet. Now you say, whoa, that's pretty far out there. Well, it is an experience. It's not a thought. And being that connected with the plant medicine, as you call it, is accessing power to have friends around the world. Because I was thinking of traveling to the Mideast and doing some training there. And it's like I only know a few people there that I've trained with, but no, I've got all my friends, the trees there. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the breakthrough or deep experiences that you've had, transformative experiences with breath? Christabel.
Yes. I guess I just want to start out by saying I never planned on doing any of this. I actually was one of those skeptics who accidentally came into my first breath experience. And it was that first experience that put me into a lifelong love affair with breath work. And in that first breath experience, I remember I was breathing and shaking. It was, first of all, I feel I need to say I was in a marriage at that time that was completely incongruent with my values. I was staying out of fear. I was living in a city that felt like it wasn't at all my sacred land. And I was holding in so many emotions at that time in my life. And so I went into this breath work and just kept breathing with the practice, started feeling so many body tremors, and started just weeping, like weeping and weeping. And I hadn't really cried in so long. And I remember weeping, shaking, and then all of a sudden, just this feeling of love, like this love of God that was in my heart that was so pure. And it didn't need me to change who I was. And it didn't need me to be anything other. And it was just like all of a sudden, as I was breathing, I felt this remembering of myself as this magical, otherworldly being, like almost from another planet. And I was just witnessing this innocence at my heart that I had forgotten about in my life. And as I was breathing, I just felt so many angelic presences around me, just these white, regally loving, beautiful beings. And I came out of that experience just totally shell shocked, altered, woken up. I left my marriage. I left that city. I moved to the tropics, what I always dreamed of doing. I completely changed my life. I studied breath work. I created Breath of Bliss. It just changed the whole trajectory of my life, that very first journey. And it continues to do that in my life. I've had really challenges letting go of attachment, especially falling into that role on the drama triangle of being a victim. I don't know if anyone can relate watching this, but particularly in one relationship I had with this verbally abusive man, I was so stuck in that victimhood place. And when I did the breath work with this, I went back in time, and it was like I saw his life, and I saw his childhood, and I saw his father saying the same words to me that he had been saying to me. And then I saw the whole lineage, like all the way back, and I saw all of that same thing happening. And it was like, I realized, oh my God, I'm here to be the angel. Like, I'm here to forgive this and to see his divinity and his beauty and to bless him and to pray for him that he may have his own, transmutation of whatever this density is. But it freed my heart, at such a level from a place of darkness and shadowy trauma to just feeling so expanded and bright and in my alignment and power. So those are two of my biggest experiences, but there's so many more.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very personal and deep and moving, Christabel. Is there a short breathing practice that you could share with us right now, a couple of minutes, that we could experience the breath of bliss with you?
Yeah. So before we start, I just want to say that Breath of Bliss really it's a whole ceremonial practice. And we start with, all kinds of connection practices and Dharma and ecstatic movement. And then we go in the hour-long breathwork journey. And so what I'll share with you would typically come in the more ecstatic movement and breath warm-up before we do the hour of lying down breath. And so I call this bridging heaven and earth because, so much of our training, our certification program is about developing angelic leadership skills, the capacity to really expand our consciousness up to the heavens, but rooting it down to be in the 3D earthly reality to be an instrument of peace. So what we're going to do is we're going to do breathing through the open mouth. So go ahead and massage your jaw, stretch your jaw, make a sound. We want to loosen up that jaw. We're going to be breathing open mouth, connected breath, connecting the inhale to the exhale. And if your feet aren't touching the ground, go ahead, bring your feet onto the ground. I'm going to do that for you now. Give them some tapping. And we're going to take these open mouth, connected breaths, and I'll guide you through the practice. We're going to be drawing Gaia's energy up through our nervous system and body and circulating that mana through our bodies. And then we're going to be drawing down the starry energy from the cosmos into our body and then circulating it. So here we go. Imagine there are open mouths on the bottom of your feet while you breathe through your open mouth as well. Connect the breath. And as you inhale, imagine you're drinking that life force energy up your leg, up your spine, into your body, to the top of your head. And as you exhale, it's cascading all around your body. You can even make some sound on the exhale. So we're washing our body over with breath from Mama Earth. Drink it up. Exhale sound, pour it over your body 2 more times. Give your body a shake. Having some sound. Our animal bodies love to breathe and sound. And now we're going to do the same thing, but from the sky, from the cosmos. So reach your arms up and imagine you could inhale down that starry galactic energy and exhale it with sound through your torso, your legs, down to Mother Earth. 3 more times. Inhale it in. Exhale it down. Another time. And this last time, we're just going to let our hands run over our bodies on the exhale with sound. Inhale it from the sky. And here we go. Blessing your body with your holy hands, bringing heaven to earth through you. Wash your body over with that nectar. Yeah, and bring your hands to your heart. Take a moment. Bless your courageous heart. Thank you for being born.
Thank you for sharing that breath of bliss with us. Feels like I've been bathed. I also know that you have a free gift because people may want to follow up on what you're sharing. Can you tell us a little bit about your free gift?
Well, as I mentioned, I create these downloadable breathwork audio journeys, and they basically have 7 levels and 7 layers of psychoactive invitation to them. They have transformational music, they have light language, they have singing, spoken guidance, theta, binaural beats, and so much more. And so what I would love to offer everyone watching today is a 10-minute sample of my I Am Light journey. And this journey is perfect for you if you are so caught up in the 3D realm, you're caught up in work, your thoughts, your inner critics, any kind of interpersonal drama or entanglements in your life, if you feel any self-criticism, self-hatred, anything that's creating a density or any feeling of heaviness in your body, I Am Light is a guided journey that helps you connect to the stars with your breath. And so we have this beautiful 10-minute segment available for you to download and enjoy breathing with the stars and receiving the support of the Ascended Masters, the angels, and Source.
Well, I'll have to admit, I sampled it myself this afternoon, and what you say is true. So anyone wanting the free sample, go to breathworksummit.com/breath of bliss. And you too can share in that bathing of breath and bliss along with Christabel. So thank you again so much, Christabel, for sharing your light and your energy and your contagious enthusiasm for breath.
It's been such an honor, Jim. Thank you for having me.